very happy to introduce the webinar that we've got going on today. So I wanted to introduce the EPIC team and also what EPIC does. So EPIC basically helps people to find, businesses to find job-ready employees and to help build diverse and inclusive workplaces. This webinar that we're going through is going to just have a talk about the benefits of hiring employees with disabilities or mental health conditions. And it's going to cover EPIC's approach to helping businesses find job-ready candidates, access wage subsidies, and receive ongoing support, all while fostering workplace diversity and inclusion. We have the lovely Karen who's going to be taking us through this today, and I'm hoping that my click-throughs will keep up with Karen's presentation. So over to you, Karen.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Karen from EPIC. I have with me Mary Claire, also from EPIC, and we're just going to go through some presentation that explains what EPIC does. I will be happy to answer any further questions that you may have or provide information pertaining specifically to your request that may not be included in the overall presentation at the end. So we're here today to talk about inclusive hiring and the ongoing support for your business and what does that look like. So next slide, please, Beck. So just introducing EPIC Assist. EPIC Assist, known as EPIC, has been assisting people with a disability, mental health conditions, injury, or other health conditions find and maintain meaningful employment for over 35 years. EPIC is a registered disability employment service provider. Locally, we work with job seekers and businesses across the Sunshine Coast with offices in Caloundra, Maroochydore, Nambour and Noosa. EPIC also operates throughout the rest of Queensland, Northern New South Wales and Tasmania. Our approach is based on sustainable employment. So we're trying to get employment that's ongoing. Next slide, please, Beck. We assist businesses to hire people with disabilities for roles within their organisations. We take the time to understand the business needs and find the right person for the job. We work with businesses to break down the barriers around hiring people with disability and help build more diverse and inclusive workplaces. This includes direct workplace modifications if required. Over 1 in 5 Australians live with a disability, but many still struggle to get their foot in the door with employment. Employing a person with disability has many benefits for your business. Next slide, please, Beck. EPIC have partnered with FAN for over 6 years, and together we share a vision to promote disability inclusiveness and placement of people with a disability in our local food and beverage industry. We have placed job seekers in a variety of roles and businesses, such as Mixed Taste in Nambour, which is pictured there on our left. What is a disability? Benefits of hiring people with, these are today's topics, sorry. What is a disability? Benefits of hiring people with a disability and how EPIC's approach can help your business find job-ready candidates with diverse skills, access wage subsidies to reduce hiring costs, access disability awareness training to build an inclusive workplace with ongoing support to ensure success and post-employment, and create a workplace culture that values diversity. Inclusion versus accessibility. When you think about people with disability, the term often used is accessibility, which is valid if we only consider people with disability as having a physical barrier, but this is only a percentage of the overall population of people with disability. Can anyone tell me what their perception of a person with disability or any types of disability that they have experience with? It's okay if you don't.
So I was going to say I have experience with people with hearing disability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we actually also refer to people with a physical disability as a visible disability. We also have people with invisible disabilities, which could be things like anxiety, mental health issues that from the outside they're invisible to you. You don't know until you start talking to someone that they may need extra attention. Next slide, please, back. Understanding disabilities. Disabilities are generally grouped into 4 categories: physical, psychological, intellectual, and sensory. The categories can help people understand how a disability can impact a person's life. It is not uncommon for people to have more than one type of disability. Many disabilities are not visible to others, even if they are physical disabilities. So it is important not to assume someone doesn't have a disability based on the way they look or act. Next slide, please. Let's talk data. So disability currently impacts 21% of the Australian population. This is all up to date as of today, by the way. That's around 5.5 million people in Australia. This number is continuously increasing with our ageing population. In 2022, 2.7 million people with disability living in households were of working age, that is 15 to 64. Over half of, which is 56.1%, were employed, compared to 82.3% of people without disability. 1/3, 33.4%, were employed full-time, compared with more than half, 57.9% of those without disability. Next slide, please, Beck. Disability doesn't discriminate. There are people that you know and may not even be aware have a disability. This is people you work with or socialise with. 37% of people employed with a disability are professionals, managers and administrators. Yes, we do have doctors on our caseload. We have university professors. We have lawyers on our caseload. So no two people with the same disability experience their disability in the same way. Next slide, please. So this is a little, that was a little video that I'm sure Fan have
I experienced, yes, and I experienced the same issue that you had when I said to share the audio, Karen. It wasn't letting me share. So yeah. What we'll do is we'll send a link out.
Yeah, thank you. Next slide. Yeah, so benefits of being an inclusive employer. The benefits of being an inclusive employer include increased loyalty from customers and staff, improved workplace culture, increased brand recognition, additional support and mentoring for the workplace. There is a study in the US where a large delivery company opened a plant only for disabled people, and the stats there show that their loyalty, their sick leave, all that is superior, far superior to any of the other plants that they have in America. If anyone's interested in that, I can supply a link to Beck later on. It's very interesting read. They have like 82% higher attendance in their disability only factory than they do in any of the other factories across America. Benefits of employing people with disability: bright ideas. People with disability are often innovative problem solvers because they're constantly having to adapt to the world around them. Because people of disability can't always do things the same way as others, they're forced to think outside the box, be creative and be solutions focused on their approach to life. These are transferable skills that could take your business to the next level. Next slide, please, Beck. People with disability bring unique perspectives, loyalty and dependability, cultural changes in the workplace, great customer service, bright and innovative ideas, and unique perspectives. Employing people with disability can help your business improve and grow its goods and services to make them more disability friendly. Who better to provide guidance on how to make improvements from a disability perspective than a person with disability? Loyal, dependable staff. Research on workers with disabilities show they often have lower absenteeism, lower incident of workplace injury, and less employee turnover. These factors all contribute to a strong workplace culture while positively impacting a business's bottom line. Next slide, please, Beck.
It did change on the right. It didn't change on the left.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Great workplace culture. Employees in inclusive workplaces are more likely to be engaged, motivated, and productive. When workplaces are seen to be environments where people's differences are welcomed and accepted, employees will typically stay in their roles for longer. Reputation. Customers like to see the diversity of society reflected within a business workforce. Studies have shown employees and customers are more loyal to organisations that demonstrate they value diversity and inclusion. In addition, many contracts and tenders now require organisations to demonstrate their commitment to diversity and inclusion. Next. Yep. So our approach. Our approach at EPIC is based on achieving sustainable employment, resulting in success for all job seekers, employees, and the community. We call our 5-stage process EPIC Engage. So the first step of that is we engage our clients so that we can get to know them and get them on board. Discover is about discovering their hidden talents and what they're able to do. Equip is getting them ready for the workplace. We might need to get them interview skills or an RSA, for example. The fourth is placing them into an employer. But once they're in work, we don't drop it there. We're supporting them for as long as they need. I've had clients who only wanted 6 months support, but I have clients still with me 7 years later who just like to have that extra bit of support, especially if they have anxiety or something like that. Next slide, please, Beth. We start by working with you to understand your business and the requirements of your roles. After we are confident that we fully understand your requirements, we conduct a comprehensive pre-screening process to make sure applicants' competencies and abilities will fit your business needs. Next slide. An EPIC team member will be available to support you and prospective candidates through the interview and selection process. When you've made a decision to appoint an EPIC candidate, we will provide ongoing support to you and your new employee to make sure the placement is successful. And support. So this support does not only go for our participant, it's there to help you and your business. So our ongoing support is what sets us apart from other providers. We will visit your workplace regularly to monitor your new employees' progress and to address any barriers that you may have identified. We'll supply this support for at least 1 year or longer if necessary or if requested. Next. Some of the benefits. We have increased loyalty from, this is what the mattress factory told us, increased loyalty from customers and staff, improved workplace culture, increased brand recognition, and access to wage subsidies. Next slide. In addition to that, we can look at unpaid work trials to try out for both the employer and job seeker, work clothing, PPE, footwears for the job seeker, appropriate licenses and tickets and relevant upskilling for the job seeker, disability awareness training in your workplace, access to work modification scheme. Just one that's not there. Besides wage subsidies and workplace modification scheme, there's also a supported wage scheme that I'll go into later. So ongoing, you can access that. Reasonable adjustments. So this is what we look at when we're doing adjustments for the workplace. Relocating a person with a mobility impairment closer to the amenities, allowing extra breaks for a person to manage their medication, providing a quiet space to help manage concentration, replacing written instruction with visual learning or demonstration, allowing a person to refer to a notebook or providing structured tasks, providing a standing desk, voice recognition software, noise cancelling headphones, or communication devices. Next slide, babe. Oh, that's another video, so we'll leave that one. Now, our Epic Assist fan member is Mary Claire Kenny. So Mary Claire's going to say hello to everybody. Do you want to do that now or at the end? I've just put Mary Claire on screen to say hello.
Hi all. If you're needing anything else after today, I'd be happy to come out and see you all and answer any questions after Karen's presentation today.
Fantastic. Okay, so guys, now I'll answer any questions that may have come up that you specifically would like to know about for your own business or in general.
Thanks, Karen. I've got a question.
Yes.
So, I mean, obviously we've got some funded programs before, and we're kind of looking to do more of that, where we've done some skilling for young people and doing some credentialing for young people, and then we'll put them into a work integrated learning placement. We in the past had done the recruitment and the support of the placement ourselves. Is that something that you guys would partner with? Is for us if we got another opportunity like that?
I'm sorry, where are you from?
I'm from Growing Education.
Oh, right, yes. We have done like partnerships of that type before. The most recent that I was involved in was a partnership with SKU. They did disability training. Another one's coming up in May. So I had 3 young men in there and supported them through their 6 months of traineeship. So it is something that we are interested in, always interested in hearing what others are doing in the community and what we can support them in and what type of support that you're looking for, and if we can provide that. Yes.
Awesome. And in this case, we had about 5 neurodivergent young people. One of them had selective mutism in the program. So, you know, if we were to do this again and get further funding for more of this type of project, we'd be keen to kind of partner with an employment assistant. So I'm assuming you have the resources to support young people like that in a program potentially?
Yeah. Yes. It also depends on the program and what how much support you want from us, and how much. Sometimes it's just supplying candidates, but we like to be involved. So if we can help with supporting them, you know, coming in and helping yes, we're very keen on our partnerships.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you.
And for some of our watchers that will be watching this at a later date, is there, you know, like what kind of, is there like a type of business or a size of business or something like that that you generally place people in? Is that relevant? You know, I just sort of thought if you could, you know, talk to us about, like, I suppose the range of or types of businesses that you engage with.
So we engage with businesses of all types. We've got businesses where it's just the employer and our participant, up to I have people in at SKU, so very large organisations, Woolworths, Bunnings. It sometimes depends on the actual store and management of how much influence we have or not. Sometimes a manager's very accepting. So we have our relationships with those businesses, so we know which store is the best one to approach or which manager is the best one to talk to. Yeah. So all sizes.
Yeah, awesome. And all different types, I suppose, from like manufacturing through to, you know, obviously Danielle has, you know, her business, like in terms of meat and that kind of thing, which is really exciting from that perspective.
all industries, we find that the people that we get in are diverse. Like I said, we've got lawyers. We've got a lawyer. We've got a doctor. He's not actually a medical doctor. He's got a doctorate of engineering or something. We have very diverse people, and a lot of times the misconception is, oh, someone with a disability, maybe we could use them for cleaning. But we've got people who have very high skills. They just experience anxiety. So it can be a case of looking at someone who's got a qualified lawyer. She's passed the bar and everything. Because of her anxiety, can only cope with maybe 15 hours per week. But when they say she's a lawyer, they want her, and she's so good, they want her for 30 or something. So she needs our support to keep reminding the employer, hey, she can only do 15 hours. Mentally, she's exhausted. So yes, we have very diverse people in all industries. We do have people with conditions where they're best suited just to a repetitive job, like washing bottles, for example, in one of our food factories that we have, just does washing the bottles, and he's happy there. He's going to stay there for 100 years because he goes and he talks to everyone, he can smile at everyone, he can see everyone in the factory, and he doesn't want to do more than that. That's his capability. He's doing that, and he's happy to go to work every day.
And in terms of, I would imagine that some businesses look at this and it's a bit scary for them. Like some businesses like, oh, I don't know whether I've got the time or the, or the resources or any of that. What would you like? Could you maybe talk us through, I don't know, when things don't go, what's the process? Like when it doesn't go to plan, what do you do, and how is Epic? Because I know that that's one of the key things for Epic is because you are there to support long term. It's not like, okay, see you out of there. Can you talk us through maybe even just a scenario of what happened and then, and outcomes and things like that, maybe for people who are going, I'm a bit scared, I'm not really sure that this is for us kind of thing?
Okay, so this is my favourite example. I did use it at Daniel's when we had the meeting at Daniel's, but it's a good one. So if this is being recorded, it's a good one to use. I have a participant who's now 27. He's been with us since he was like 17. He was initially in a discount place at Nambour, and he is very particular. He was doing a great job, but he's got a certain set of skills. And they decided that everyone had to be able to be on the registers as well as do the back warehouse and the shelf filling and the tidying up, which was out of his skill set. So he was there for 7.5 years and he came out of it. And I had an employer ring me and say, oh, Karen, one of my favourite employers, by the way. He rings and he says, I'm pulling my hair out. Why can't I just get someone who does what I tell them to do? I don't want them to think outside the box. I don't want them to change the colour. I don't want them to do anything. I want them just to do what I've asked them to do. Said, have I got the guy for you? So we put, I'll call him Stephen. We put Stephen in there, and a couple of weeks later, employer rings me up and says, what's wrong with Stephen? I said, nothing's wrong with Stephen that we didn't discuss. He has OCD. You show him how you want it done, because writing it down and telling him isn't going to help. You show him what you want done, and it's done. I said, what's the concern? Do you want me to come down to the workplace? He said, no, he's bloody fantastic. Can I have 10 more? I said, what's the concern? He said, well, nothing. He does exactly what I tell him, and I'm waiting for the cracks to show up. I don't have to correct him. I don't have to tell him, redo this. He does exactly. I said, that's what you asked me for. And that's what this gentleman's condition is. You ask him to do something, he's going to do that right down the line. He said everything in the factory is now workplace health and safety. He makes sure everything's lined up correctly. There's nothing over the edges. Nothing is in the walkways. Everything is perfect. Now, Stephen has been there now for 4 years. He trains all the new staff. They wouldn't be without him.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of success stories like that, finding the person skill. We want everyone to know these are people with really highly advantaged skills that can help your job. It's what does your business need that we can fill. So Stephen's very presentable. He's lovely. He just can't do money. So one small thing cut him out of a job that he'd had for 7.5 years. We found him something that he's going to be in for life.
Yes. And I think that's I suppose that's a fantastic example, because there's an example of, perhaps what if there are some businesses that are considering it and they're not sure, then perhaps what it needs to be is a discussion with Mary Claire, or and then a discussion to go along and have a chat in terms of what the business is doing, even looking at the actual like layouts, or what they actually do, and learning a bit about that business. Then it might be, well, actually we could slot someone in like this, or slot someone in like that, from that perspective, which is amazing.
That's what happened in this case. This employer wasn't worried about whether or not you could drive a forklift. He wasn't worried whether or not, you had this ticket or that ticket. What he said to me was, I need someone who can follow instruction, and that's what we provided. Now, also, I'd like to just mention that no job is too small. So some people think, I've got to have that mail done and the wages set up, and I've got to do that, and that takes me 8 hours a week, and it's too small for me to hire someone. I'll just do it myself, and then you are run down and you can't do your best at your business. We look for jobs for people from 8 hours up. So if you can supply 8 hours, we can supply. I had a lady, I've got to work now, fully qualified accountant. She friggin' amazing, but she just gets exhausted. So I put her in a business. She does all that stuff, took all that pressure off the owner, that they keep offering her full-time work. She's so amazing. It's just that because of her conditions, she's exhausted after 8 hours.
Yeah.
So she does fill in every so often, but we have to make sure that she gets enough rest and things. Someone's going on holidays, but no job is too small. If you have a job that one of my participants can only do 80% of it, so you've got a list of duties, but there's some of it that he can't do, we can look at the supported wage scheme. Now, the supported wage scheme sends an assessor out to your place who confirms that, and they give you written certificate that says that this person can only do 80% of the job that you're asking him to do, so you only have to pay him 80% of the award wage. That could be as low as 50% in some cases. You only have to pay 50%. You give that to your accountant. You are set. Every 12 months, they come out and reassess to see where that participant is. In some cases, they may have been able to get up to 55%, 60%. So the certificate will increase for the next 12 months. With someone who's on 80%, the job may have changed. I had a business who went to a home setup to a factory, and now the person was required to do multiple roles instead of a single role. So it went from 80% down to 70% because he was no longer able to do the full amount of the new role. So that's ongoing for as long as you hire them. Every 12 months, a little assessment, and that does not affect in any way any of the other wage subsidies that are available. So that's on top. That's the federal government acknowledging that you're supporting someone with a disability or medical condition. So let's support you back and not make you pay full award wage for someone who cannot do the full 100% of the role that you've got there.
That's great. Like it's all of these little things, I suppose, which is the reason why we wanted to do this webinar and to record it so that it can be played. You know, we have people that can't be available at certain times, but that's amazing. Those are there any other kind of, I suppose, nuances that you wanted to bring out, or even if Alex or Mary Claire have anything that, you know, that there are any other points that you might want to make from that perspective? Because I think it's the points that you've made now are actually very, very valid. Like knowing that you can start from 8 hours, and would that does it matter if that 8 hours is a couple of hours a day? Does it matter?
It's completely negotiable between the participant and your business. So we have a lot of people who require 8 hours for Centrelink, and we've got a portion of people who require 15 hours for Centrelink. But we can discuss that on an individual basis. There's one more thing that I would like to put out there before we move on, is wage subsidies. So people quite often say, oh, he comes with wage subsidy. It's not about the job seeker. The wage subsidy is not about the job seeker. The wage subsidy is about your business. To us, we don't look at, well, this person comes with $5,000 and that one comes with $3,000. It's support for your business to train this person. So if this person is coming into an industry that they have never been in before, you might need extra assistance to get this person ready to be able to do your job. So for 6 months, a government wage subsidy is there to subsidise the wages that you're paying them when they need assistance. So when they first get in there, you might be giving them all your time. They can't do their job on their own. You might be supplying another worker to work with them, to teach them and train them. So the wage subsidy is a payment back to your business to assist with the costs of having that person come in for that 6 months of training. So the wage subsidy is to help the employer.
No, thank you for clarifying. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you guys think that we should, or Tara, do you have any other questions?
Well, good. Do you have Mary Claire said she's good? Nothing to add?
Okay. Well, I think that's amazing. And thank you so much. So what I will do is, and we will, because what we will do is we will share this out to the base again. When we do share it out, we'll share out the links, but we'll also make sure that I have the links to the 2 videos that we've got there as well, so that people can have a look, and I'll send them, I'll share them, I'll send those through to you, Tara, as well. But thank you so much. I think, this is something that we're all really passionate about, particularly after we had the session last year, with Danielle, and we all had just learnt so much. And I think it's really important, and that's why we wanted to do this. And we will make sure that we share this out and share it out with our members. And I'm sure that we will get people watching it in their own time and that kind of thing as well. So we really do appreciate everything. Appreciate you pulling together the presentation, and Karen and Mary Claire and Alex, your time as well. And if there's anything else that we need to, any other resources that we need to share or something like that, we're more than happy to do that as well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for having us. And if you have any questions, please, Beck can just send them through. I'm happy to research something for you if you need some information about something. Mary Claire is the face of our business. So Mary Claire's the one that will come out and assist you with getting in participants, but I'm always happy to back up Mary Claire and do that research in the background for you to help out.
Amazing. Thank you so much again. Honestly, we really appreciate it. And as I said, we're all passionate about it. And I'm glad, because I've learned even more now today as well. And our team will all make sure that we, that everybody in our team, because there's 3 or 4 of us here that have been listening today as well. So that's great, because we can then impart that knowledge off to off to members and things like that when we come through, and also just to the general community and other business people that we meet along the way. So it's very, it's always very exciting, and it's and it's great. And honestly, I love hearing the stories, and yeah, it's beautiful.
I've got 1,000 of them.
I know, Karen, you've got great stories.
I've got 20 years of stories. Happy to come to a meeting one night and just
to one of our meetups. Yes, we'll definitely do that as well. Thank you so much, and we'll stop the recording there. And